everyone. Okay, so we left off on part 2. I showed you how to join your crochet squares together. If you've not seen part 1 and 2, you might not know what's going on, but we're building this crochet afghan. So if you want to know how to make it, start with video 1 and then come back. Yeah, so anyway, this is a little sample piece I'm working on to show you guys how to do it. And last episode, last installment of this series, we learned how to do the borders and then how to join them all together. So yeah, if you made it this far, congratulations. I would really love to see y'all's progress as you're doing this, so you can go follow me on my Instagram channel. I'll link it right here. I'll do my Instagram handle, and I would love to see you guys tag me in your projects so I can see what you guys create, because I know there's a lot more creative people out there than me that can make the colors look really pretty and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you want to see how to add this lovely border, then just keep watching. Alright, so we left off last time with this, and now I'm going to show you how to do the border. So you can feel free to do as many border rows as you want. I'm only doing 2. I'm not big on borders, and I know a lot of people do really thick and intricate borders on theirs. You could have infinite possibilities on how many rows of borders you want to add, but I just really like the look of simple borders. So, not sure if you can tell, but you will have one more row of the cream color, and then one row that's slightly different in the way it's worked. I'll show you how to do it with a pop of color if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it. So I will show you guys that now. I'm just going to again work with the same cream yarn I've been working with. Create a slip stitch, stick it on my needle, hook. I say needle all throughout this, and I've got to get better about saying hook because that is the proper term. And we're going to pick a corner, any corner. I usually like to start in the bottom corner. Less knots on the front. That's the only reason I do that. But I'll focus the camera and then we'll get started. So you can start wherever you want. For consistency, I'm just going to start in the corner here. I'm just going to start on the first stitch in this cluster right here. So we'll just join with the slip stitch, chain 1, and that is your first single crochet, and we're just going to single crochet all the way around. This just kind of makes the outer edge look like the inner edge right here, where it's a thicker cream border. So I'm just adding another row of single crochet all the way along the top. So we've got, that's the second and 3, that's the third single crochet. And then we're going to go into the one in the chain space, 1, then all the way down. I'm going to keep going until we get to this center space right here, and I'll show you how I'm doing the stitches in that corner space. For consistency, and so that it lays flat, excuse me, that was my phone, and so that it lays flat without having any bumps, or we don't want it to like bubble up, if that makes sense, over here by putting too many stitches in there. But we also don't want it to be pulled too tight, so I'll show you guys how I do that. But we're just going to single crochet all the way across. Okay, so I just did this is the last stitch in the 3. Then we have that one corner stitch that we did not single crochet into. I'm going to do that one right now. And then just like when we were connecting it on the back, I'm only going to do 1 stitch in the center spot. So if you look closely at it, you will see this stitch and this stitch. These are the center stitches that we already stitched into when we were connecting. So we want to ignore those completely, and because they already have a stitch in them. And we want to just stick our needle into this center spot right here. just right there, which is really difficult to do and very fiddly. And you'll just single crochet. And I'm going to show you that one more time. Take that stitch out. Get to the old one. Okay. Again, I've done one single crochet in the corner stitch right here. And then we want to skip the 2 center stitches over here, and we just want to put it in the dead center of this. So you'll see that there's a little piece right here you can pick up. And I just stick it through, and you'll do your single crochet. And then you'll keep going. Again, don't hit that center stitch, hit the last one in the corner space with the single crochet. And then you're going to keep going with your 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then the one that's in the chain 1 space. And as you can see, that makes it lie flat. If you were to do too many stitches in there, it wouldn't lie flat like that. And this just makes the outer edge have as much white or cream or whatever your color is for connecting as the center. You don't have to do it that way. I just think that that gives it a really nice look. So I'm going to go all the way around and continue with that, but I do need to show you how to do the corner. So you can just watch me speed through this really quickly, and we will meet at the corner, and I'll show you how many stitches to do in the corner. Okay, so I've done the 3 stitches in the top of the 3 of these double crochet, and now we've got the 3 corner stitches. So we're going to go into the first one, single crochet, and then with the second one, let me make sure I'm being correct. Yes, with the second one, the center stitch, I'm going to do 2 single crochet. I'm sorry. We'll do 2 single crochet in that hole. So I just did 1. You're going to go back into the same stitch and do a second one. This just helps you turn the corner without making it too fat or too stretched over the corner. So you want to ease over the corner. And then I'll do the last stitch that's in the corner. And then back onto the ones that are on top of this. Oh, that fell off. Back on top of the ones that have the double crochet. If my vocal explanation doesn't make sense, I have written down the pattern in the description box below if that is helpful to you as a non-beginner. And even if you're a beginner, I do recommend checking that out, because if you follow along with the written pattern and then my vocal pattern makes sense to you, you can kind of start figuring out how to read patterns. That's what I used to do when I was first starting, and I find that it really helped, because sometimes people will write things down and you're thinking, that doesn't make sense. And a lot of the times those free patterns you find on the internet don't make sense. So you just kind of have to be able to figure it out on your own, and it does take some learning curves, and I've made my fair share of mistakes, so don't get discouraged if you mess up. It all comes with the learning process. Now I'm making it all the way to this other edge again, and I'm going to show you again what to do at this connecting piece. Obviously yours is going to be a lot bigger, so you will have more connecting pieces than I do on this little tiny project, but that's okay. So again, I did the 3, I did the 1 stitch in the first single crochet of this corner piece, and these 2 already have stitches in them. So I'm just going to stick my hook in the middle right here. And this is really fiddly. Some of them are really tight. It's just the way I crochet. So yours could be really tight or really loose. And do a single crochet. And again, make sure you don't go back into it. Just do the last stitch that's in the corner. And then your 3 as per usual. And again, this just helps it lay really flat once it's done. And as you can see with the corner, that gives you a really nice, precise corner. So I'm going to finish up going all the way around this, and I will meet you guys once I get to the other end. And then I'll show you how to do the next row. Okay, so I've made it all the way around. I wanted to show you the last corner. I've done the 3 in the top of this double crochet, and now we've got these 3 corner stitches. So we're just going to single crochet in the first one, and then we'll do 2 single crochet in the next one. 1, and then go back into the same hole, 2, and then your yarn should not squeak like this, by the way. My hands are insanely sweaty, and I really know that's disgusting, but that's why my yarn squeaks sometimes, and I can't help it. And then we'll just do a single crochet in the last stitch. And if you remember, we started there. We're just going to stick our hook into that stitch if we can get it, and slip stitch, just like that. So that is the first border finished. You can leave it like this if you like this look. I'll show you what it looks like. Pull that really tight. You can leave it like this if you like the look. Focus, there we go. If you like the look of it. I personally really think it looks good, but I wanted to do something a bit different because, I don't know, I feel like another border just finishes it off really, really nicely. I like this blue, so let's go with blue. I'm going to do the same thing where I do a slip stitch and stick my hook through it. And I'm just going to start in the same corner that I started last time. So let's get you focused. Now this is the accentuating last bit of the border. I just want to kind of give you an overview. It's all single crochet, and as you can see, some of them like poke down a little bit farther than the other. I'll show you how to do that, but I just want you to note that they're almost even all the way around. If it's going to bother you that the center where it connects isn't 100% even, then don't do that. Do a different kind of border if you prefer, or just do another row of single crochet. You don't have to do these little dip downs, but I'm going to show you how to do them because I like the look of that, and it doesn't bother me too much that it's slightly uneven because it is even all the way around. If you take a look, I did that in every connection point, so I think it looks nice, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so we have our slip knot right here. I'm going to, hello. I've had him out of the room this whole time, but he wanted in. Okay, so we'll just have a cat in the background. Okay, so we are going to slip stitch on to join at the top of one of the double crochet stitches. Come on. There we go. And then do the second single crochet, 2 and 3. So that is 3 single crochet. I have to zoom you out a little bit because I want you to, or I'll lift you up for a sec so you can see the cat. Hey buddy, what you doing? Anyway, okay, so we have these 3 single crochet, and now rather than single crocheting in the one on top of this this space, we're going to drop down a whole stitch. Now, this is not a normal technique, this is just to make it look different and so that it has that dropping down effect. So rather than going into the normal stitch like we would, which is right here, we're going to go into the stitch in the row below it. And then you're just going to single crochet like normal. So you'll have the 2 loops on the hook. You'll pull through both loops. Now, you have to make sure you keep it kind of loose so that you're not tightening it too much and pulling and like shrinking this down. So that creates that drop down effect. I'll show you how to do it again. So we'll just single crochet 3 times. 1, 2, 3, And instead of going into this stitch right here, we're going to go into the one right below it. And keep it really loose. You see how I'm pulling it up really far? And single crochet. I just moved. Okay. You see how that creates that little drop down effect? I really like that. And you can always make sure you're staying on track by where these dropping down points are. They should be pointing right at these little holes, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to do that to the end of this block, and I'll show you what to do at the intersection. Oh, now the cat might attack that. I'm honestly really surprised he didn't. Okay, so that's 3, and then we're going to drop down and do that single crochet. 3, 1, 2, 2, and 3, and then we're going to drop down and do the single crochet there. Make sure you just pull that loop loose, and there we go. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now you're thinking, okay, Courtney, what do I do now? Because this corner makes no sense with your pattern. Let me show you. On here, we just did these 3 stitches. Now we're going to do a drop down, one in the corner, 1 single crochet, and then another dropped down single crochet. So this just kind of frames off the corner here. So it'll be 1 drop down in the corner, single crochet, 1 drop down in the corner, and then back to the normal pattern. And I'll show you how to do that. Don't worry. So if you look here, this is your corner stitch. You're going to, we just did the 3, you're just going to drop down in there, do your single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet into the 1 single crochet right there, and then instead of going into here, we're going to drop down into the corner. Just like that. And then it's back to the regular pattern. So you'll do your 3 single crochet, and then you will single crochet not here, but into the row below it. And I hope all this is making sense to you guys. If you're not used to looking at the crochet stitches, you might not be able to recognize what's a stitch. It's totally okay, because I was not able to for a bit at first, but if it looks visually good to you, no one's gonna notice. You are a beginner, so give yourself some slack. That is something I really needed to be told when I first started crocheting, so I hope that you take that information seriously, because I am a perfectionist, and if you're a perfectionist too, you totally know what I'm talking about feeling the need to be perfect with your stitches. Please don't attack the ball yarn. All right, we're making our way to the corner. This is the last 3. 1, 2, and 3. So now we're in the corner. I'll show you what the corner is going to look like. In the corner, you're going to have, we just did these 3. You're going to have 1 dropped down and 2 stitches. This one's a little bit hidden. 1 drop down, 2 stitches, 1 drop down. I hope that makes sense. So you'll have 3 little drop down stitches in the corner. If you want to forego this little drop down one in the corner, that would look nice as well, but I kind of like it. It gives the corner a little extra pizzazz. I've never used the word pizzazz before and don't plan on using it again, so apologies for that. Oh, bye, kitty. I love you. Okay. So we just did the 3 single crochets. Now we're going to drop down into this one, the row before. Okay, so we just did the drop down stitch. Now there's these 2 that are in the corner. We are going to do 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet in that first stitch. So that's 2 in this one. Then we're going to do a drop down. And then we're going to do 2 stitches in this next stitch. 1, 2 single crochet. And then for this corner stitch right here, instead of going here, we're going to do a drop down again. And that gives you the 3 little drop downs. I will work my way to this other corner and show you that one more time so that you get the hang of it. So I just did these 3 single crochet and I've made it back to the corner. So instead of going in this stitch, we're going to do a dropped down single crochet. And now we have these 2 corner stitches right here. We're going to single crochet into the corner twice. 1, 2 into the same stitch. And then we're adding a stitch by doing a drop down. You see where I'm dropping down at? Right in the center right here. Dropped down. And then it'll be a little bit tight and fiddly, but we're going to go into that second corner stitch. And we're going to do 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And then the next stitch is the final dropped down stitch. So you'll drop down, single crochet, and now it's back to the regular. So we'll do like we've been doing. 3, 2, 3, and the dropped down. I'm going to finish going all the way around this, and I will meet you guys when I get to this corner. Okay, so we have the cat back. I just slip stitched to the end, and I'm going to snip that and pull that through. And that right there is your completed project. I will say you've got all of these ends, and these need to be woven in. I'm going to link a video that shows you how to weave in your ends, because it's getting a little bit late here and I don't want to do that tonight. So I'll link a video below on how to weave in your ends, but that's your finished project. Once you give it a wash, it'll lay a lot better. Make sure you pay attention to the washing instructions on whatever fabric you use, and drying instructions as well, because if you are using a woolen yarn, it'll felt and it'll shrink a lot. So if you don't want that, make sure you pay attention to the washing requirements of the yarn that you bought. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel, that would be great. I'd love to do some more crochet videos in the future. And yeah, hey, hello, say hello, hey buddy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Like I said, that would be really great. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.